Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun episode. Today we're going to be reviewing X-Men Red number 2. And before we get right dived on into the issue, I do want to let you guys know about my 200 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 200 subscribers, we're going to be giving away this book. It's the Joker number 1 Mark Brooks variant cover, and it's really cool. Not only are you going to win that, but you're also going to get yourself a cool CBCA sticker, which is the Comic Book Community Awards, and that's kind of like the Oscars for YouTube personalities like myself, and a channel that's much bigger than me is going to win that. But hey, I'm trying to support them, and you guys can check that out on Brian LCS's channel. All right, let's get dived right on into the issue here. And we got to go over a couple things as always before we completely do. First off, I want to let you guys know we're going to go heavy into spoilers. So, if you don't want to be spoiled for X-Men Red number 2, that is your warning. The second thing that we always cover is we want to shout out the creative team because without them we wouldn't have a comic book, right guys? So first off, we have Al Ewing is doing the writing, Stefano Caselli is the artist, Federico Blee is the color artist, and VC's Corey Petit is doing the letters and production. All right, and we start off the summer house on the moon some time ago, and that's the Summers like Scott Summers, and um, says he has fire within them, and this is like some aliens talking, and they're talking about Vulcan and how they've possibly planted some sort of seeds of corruption within Vulcan. And so he wakes up, and they say, "Hey, Emperor," Cyclops does, and Vulcan says, "Don't call me that." And this girl says, "You got visitors, Emperor Margarita." And Cyclops says, "It's not even lunchtime, Gabe." Gabe Summers. And he starts to get up. He's like, "Why is Xavier here?" And Cyclops is like, "Yep, it's about the waiting room, the mutant afterlife that Wanda helped build for us while you were drunk." And Xavier steps in and he says, "We now have a way to reach dead mutants from before Cerebro achieved full resurrection functionality, Gabriel. Thunderbird, for instance, or Poor Changeling, or Petra and Sway." And Vulcan's eyes start burning, and he says, "Petra and Sway are right here, aren't they?" And yeah, he says, "No, none of that's true. It is. It's not, is it?" And she says, "You tell us, Emperor. We're here, aren't we? Have a margarita." So that's them standing right there, and Xavier tries to tell Vulcan it's going to be okay, and if he lets him reach his mind, he'll be able to show him the truth. And Vulcan's like, "No, I decide my own truth." And he's like, "Get out of my mind," and just screams, "Get out!" And a big giant blast kind of destroys the Summers house. This was like a while ago, as it said. It's kind of a little bit of backstory. And then we get the foreword, if you will, and that says, "The mutants have successfully terraformed Mars, dubbing the planet anew as Arakko, and populating it with a mix of mutants from Krakoa and Amenth. Storm sits as the regent of Sol on the Great Ring, the main governing body of Arakko. But the new outpost has a long way to go before the two disparate mutant cultures are successfully integrated, especially as the Krakoan mutants aren't all in alignment themselves, as Brand makes moves to establish herself more in the new world. Storm makes a bold one herself, forming a new Brotherhood of Mutants." And then, so Sword Station, the keep orbiting Arakko right now. And Vulcan's like, "Now? Is it happening now?" And Brand says to him, Vulcan, there you are. And Vulcan says, they've already forgotten me, Brand. How does that happen? I left a scar across the stars themselves. Brand says, oh, I remember. And in the future, well, who knows? We may have some mutual interests. But right now, you're not currently welcome at the Summers house for personal reasons. You prefer not to set foot on Krakoa. And here on Mars, one of the last places you're welcome. You're trolling the diplomatic zone, stirring up trouble. You need something to put your mind to, Vulcan, something worthy of a Summers brother. And this is it. Meet X-Men Red, the X-Men of Mars. Mentalo, Frenzy, Random, Manifold, and the field leader, Cable. And Vulcan says, field leader? So I'm taking orders from my nephew? I was a leader of empires, Brand, and I led from the front. And Random says, wonderful, a team player. It's bad enough you're pulling me off diplomatic work for this circus, Brand. Brand says, this is diplomatic work, Frenzy? Krakoan Iraqi relations. The Iraqi need to know there's a sword team watching over them. And so the new team that Brand has formed kind of talks, and this one guy says he's out and just kind of takes off. And so he's off the team. Which one is that? I believe that's Frenzy. I think Frenzy's, yeah, he's just like, I'm out. He takes off, and then she's like, all right, Cable, can you body slide a team this size? And Cable says, if need be, then you're transport. And if you've got a way to make miniature suns, you can do that too. And for the record, let's say as a hypothetical that I did throw Henry Peter Gyrick out of an airlock. Is there anyone left in this room who'd have a problem with that? And everybody seems okay with it. Vulcan's okay with it. Cable just kind of click clacks his guns, and Brand is like, all right then, whiz kids minding station 1. So Arako's got my undivided attention. Let's see if we have time to get to know each other before. Looks like I jinxed it. Apologies, X-Men. But duty calls. And then it's the Morrowlands, a commune of artists and poets seeking new purpose on their new world. But they still remember the prisons. So these are all these mutants from a different planet that were locked in prisons that the X-Men saved and then kind of took them in under their wing. And they're living now on Mars. And so in jumps Cable and Vulcan and the X-Men Red team. And there's a big giant guy that they're kind of fighting, a progenitor. And all the Iraqi people are fighting, and so Cable and them all show up to help them fight the progenitors. And if you guys don't know, progenitors are crazy strong, and basically they end up stealing Cable's arm and then killing Cable, and then Frenzy's like, Cable's down. I repeat, Cable's dead. And then this Krakoan, or excuse me, this Iraqi mutant comes running in, throwing her box of power, and she just gets eradicated by the by these progenitors. And so Vulcan's not too happy about it. He tries to go in to stop them and take out the progenitors. He's kind of his usual self. He's a bit of a self-righteous, arrogant person, and sort of gets himself into trouble. because he's talking back to the Iraqi. And so Storm, as she comes in, freezes him, and in comes the Brotherhood of Mutants on Mars, as you can see right here, with Magneto, Storm, uh, the new guy, and Sunspot, and so they land, and Magneto is basically like, I I can do something about this progenitor because it's made of metal, but it's resisting me if if someone can cause a distraction. And so all the Iraqi the new guy, like the fisherman, as he's been called, he goes over and asks all the Iraqi mutants to pick an eye, and they seem to know him from before. He's kind of been a hero before. They call him the Unarmed King. And Sunspot asks, "Is that you, Fisher?" And so the Unarmed King says, "A few old talesmiths spinning their tales, Roberto. It's not to do with the here and now. That floating head give you any thoughts, Max?" And so if you saw in the picture I just showed, he's the guy that kind of looks, he's got like a long beard and stuff, white haired, long beard, and he carries a staff. He kind of reminds me of at least in look of an Aquaman. Even though this is Marvel, but yeah, okay, the unarmed man. Now he carries a spear. Anyways, moving on. So the progenitors get distracted by all the Iraqi mutants that send all their kinds of different powers, mutant powers at him, and that takes out the progenitor, and then the Vulcan, he's still froze by everything Storm did, and so he kind of powers out and bursts all the ice that Storm froze him with, and he says to her, "I never died." And Storm says, "Goddess." And Vulcan says, "Who are you, Iraqi? Who are any of you to challenge me? I'm an emperor, an X-Man, a son of summer. I am Vulcan, the son of Mars." And Storm says, "And I am the mother," and grabs him by the throat and says, "You manipulate energy? So do I. You're an Omega level mutant? So am I. This is not a clash of mutant weapons. This is a battle of will. Feel the power circle us, building from one to the other, seeking a weakness, a break in our armor, a flaw. You speak of a fire that burns inside you, a flame dancing in the wind. Inside me, child, is the hurricane. No thrones on Araco, Emperor. Pass it on." And just wanted to show you kind of the layout of that. It's really cool artwork going on. And so then there's kind of this big long paragraph here, and just to save a little bit of time, basically an unknown person has sent those progenitors and has underestimated Storm and is now going to work around Storm instead of try to work against her. But they don't say who it is. And then so back up on the sword station where Brand is, Vulcan says, "Is it happening now?" And Brand says, "You're being healed, if that's what you mean. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry, Gabriel. I wasn't using you to your full potential." And Vulcan says, "Yes, the shell. She only fought the shell." And so basically, like, she explains to him that Araco's pain has a face. And he says, "Does it have a name?" And she says, "Yes, it does. Tarn the Uncaring." Because basically she explains to him that she wants him to get a seat on the council so that she can have some say on what's going on Mars. And also with the way that the Iraqi people are, they're kind of like if you're have ever watched Star Trek, they're kind of like Klingons, like a fight to the death, the winner would be proclaimed victorious and everyone would surround them and regardless follow them because they're stronger and the winner. That's just how their race of people is. And so anyways, she points out this guy who's one of the biggest baddest Iraqi mutants and kind of sicks Vulcan on him like, hey, go kill him and you'll get uh, their admiration. And so Tarn the Uncaring is the guy right there. And so yeah, I mean that yeah, a knockdown drag out between Tarn the Uncaring versus Vulcan, because he's like, Tarn the Uncaring, no, Tarn the Dead. Um, all right, yeah, so that's what we got going on in X-Men Red #2. Looks like a setup for a big showdown in #3. There was a little bit of a reveal there with who the fisherman is and what potentially his origin story is. Um, yeah, I mean it's written by Ewing, so I'm definitely on board. He he's got a plan here, and I'm just enjoying going along with it. I really did like the artwork by Caselli. Also, like, man, um, some of the facial expressions and the body compositions. He's really good with body compositions. You can see her on the front cover as well. Um, he's very talented. um, yeah, I gotta give X-Men Red 2 a thumbs up. Um, I would say even not just being a biased X-Men fan, just no, it's Ewing, and you know he's gonna do it right. They put some good people on this new creative team. We've got Ewing on Red, and Immortal is Gillian. So I mean, yeah, I'm definitely liking it. All right, as always, guys, if you do enjoy this kind of content, like, comment, and be subscribed to the channel. And that'll enter you to win the Joker #1 Mark Brooks variant cover and a CBCA sticker. And if you stuck around this long in the video, hey, um, click the link below and shop on my eBay store, and I'll send you some comic books. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.